Welcome back to Brands Hatch, and we're getting ready for the Mitchell and Ginetta Junior Championship race, where we might see the championship decided. We probably should do, actually, because Josh Rowledge, who qualified P2, and there he is, he was actually asking me this morning about the onboard camera, and he said the car's already overweight and the camera will add weight to it, so there might be a protest now and after.
Stop it. They do actually weigh a bit of weight.
Yeah. So here's how they stand. 98 points clear at the moment is Josh Rowledge from rookie champion Will McIntyre. Harry Reynolds in third. Then Liam McNeely, Joe Warhurst, Kanato Lee sixth, Rakil Alibi, Sonny Smith, who's not with us this weekend. He's eighth, Maurice Henry ninth, and Zach Meakin in 10th place. Only 109 points available. So top 8 for Josh Rowledge. He was chilling out in the paddock this morning and said, yep, top 8, that'll do me. And he was pretty cool, and we'll talk more about his season. But here's the view from Josh Rowledge, P2, and Liam McNeely on pole, which is great.
Yeah, we should get some great coverage of this. And yeah, Liam McNeely on pole, fantastic to see him back on the front. So yeah, it's this has got all the hallmarks of a good old junior race.
So here's how they line up. Round 23 of the championship. Liam McNeely's first pole position of the year, the man who finished second in the championship last year. Josh Rowledge alongside Akil Alibi back in the front 2 rows. He's third from Harry Reynolds, Joe Warhurst, and Zach Meakin on row 3. Fourth row, Luke Watts and Will McIntyre, the rookie champion, and Freddie Slater and Kanato Lee. Maurice Henry is on row 6 with Mackenzie Douglas. Alicia Parmosky on row 7, Finn Harrison next to her, then it's Luca Hopkinson and Mikey Porter. Sid Smith on row 9 with Ella Lloyd. Then it's Flynn McHardy and Leona Theobald, the grid completed by Tom Spragg, Shravan Shamagavel and Adam Brown.
I need to find out how much those cameras weigh, actually, because I heard people laughing in the director's truck at me because I said they've got quite a bit of weight in them, but I don't actually know what they actually weigh, so I'm waiting for someone to tell me and stop.
They'll be on it, won't they? No, they'll 3 kilos.
3 kilos? That's like
with all the kit.
That's Tim Harvey's lunch. We're just looking at him through the little hole in the comms wall because we're alternating here, aren't we, today?
Yeah.
What's he doing? How is he eating?
Lunch, late lunch.
Doesn't surprise me.
Or an early tea.
What does surprise me is this track has been a bit damp out the back.
Morning,
yeah, it was this morning. I think that these cars are on road tyres, these junior cars, and just because they're road tyres doesn't mean they're going to slide off the track, and they're not great at dealing with dry or wet conditions. They're actually very good Michelin tyres, to be fair to them, and they'll probably be the best tyres to be on it because it's like an intermediate. If it does rain, which it shouldn't do, but they can run in dry, they can run in wet, and this is going to be a great camera angle. This is because I think this is going to be a battle at the front. I've got a feeling here. Liam McNeely won't want to let this pole go, but how hard will Rowledge want to push?
Well, we're going to see, aren't we, in just a moment, on one of the best racetracks in the country for sure. Great lineup of cars still to sign off from Ginetta from the touring car package. Round 23, 3 more junior races on the package to go. I never thought we'd be saying that, but the end comes to all of the championships at some point. We're getting ready with Liam McNeely, first pole of the year, on the front rank, getting ready. Engine notes rise, lights are on, and away we go. So Josh Rowledge front row, he is right of shot as you look at them in the black number 10. The R-Racing prepared car gets a good launch. The outside of Brands Hatch front row is a good launch, but Liam McNeely is equal to that. Third position at the moment is Akil Alibi in the yellow and black car, with Harry Reynolds chasing him down at the moment on the outside in black and turquoise, but just slotting in and grabbing the line into Druids is Liam McNeely.
Yeah, well, Rowledge has got to make a decision now. Oh, it's that Kanato Lee at the back. He's been tagged, I would have said. I don't think he'll have gone off on his own. Harrison involved. He may not have tagged him, but he's been involved. Does look like a kind of the entry to Druids where people do get tagged, but back with the lead. There's a lot of defending going on, and McNeely made a great start from pole. Sometimes it can really be a nightmare to start in pole position here because of the way the camber drops away at that particular part of the circuit.
Yeah, it can be tricky for sure, but he's read that very well, used all his experience. We're going to have a safety car if not red there.
Yeah, that's not going to be moved very easily. They need to tell him early doors. Safety cars straight out on track. As you can see that change of place. That was Joe Warhurst, was it, going down the inside? So that blue car was just gaining a place on Harry Reynolds. Safety car called very quick. Oh, cars on the grass and cars off at Hawthorns.
Yeah, multiple events to sort out Zach Meakin. Sadly, the Prep Tech prepared runner off and in the barrier, but Liam McNeely he won't really want a safety car. He want to get into the race rhythm. We've had 2 races so far, Paul, where we've had championships decided and both the races ended, not necessarily because we needed red flags, but we were under safety cars and we were that far along that the championships were decided by red and checker. Hopefully that's not going to happen here. Yeah,
it's a compact schedule, isn't it? And we've got to remember that we need to get this done before that the sun starts to go down. So yeah, that's good to see.
Red.
Both red flag. The reason that's probably a red flag is because there's 3 cars off, and at least 2 of them need a lift. The third one I'm not sure will, but they need flatbeds, and you've only got 13 minutes, so they've stopped the time, and they'll stop them. They'll stop them on the grid there and maybe regrid them. Lot of fluid from the radiator as well, so all the bonnet will be removed, and then they'll have to put something down, cement dust or something, to get that all cleared up. It's not good. So Joe Warhurst is the leader of the pack there, isn't he? And you can see cars. That's Akil Alibi. Has he gone through?
Yeah, a couple of them have gone through, haven't they?
He's not stopped, or he's not been stopped. Let's not say it's his fault. So, not a good situation, this, because that car should not be there. So, Alibi has obviously been waved through on, just not stopped. Liam McNeely out of the comms box is through. Rollage is through. We're now seeing pictures of that. So the safety car has been maybe sent back out to go on. They'll come in short, I would have thought. They'll turn right now and not go down the Grand Prix circuit.
Should do, shouldn't they?
Which
no,
they don't. There's obviously not been told what's going on.
Oh, they're going around the Indy circuit.
That's a shout. You see, why that happened is because nobody would have told the safety car driver what the sketch was. That's why he was so slow, probably asking what was going on. Kieran Salmons, I think it is, and Scotty Stringfellow, yeah. So the safety car doing the right thing. Well, this is the right thing. They're taking it back to the grid.
They like the 56 safety car. They were.
It
was like, never mind Ginetta leaving, we don't get to drive the 56 anymore.
The 56 is a good car. It's a powerful car as well. I know that the guys who've driven it, and Scotty Stringfellow, I need to speak to Scotty actually and ask him what he thinks of it. But he does like it, does he?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit of him, that I can imagine it. Big and fast. There's the 2 boys. That's at the top of Druids. Yeah.
Finn Harrison, a new driver to the championship, joined us at Silverstone, racing with Assetto Motorsport, Jim Evans Jr.'s team, and Simon Trave's team, and a view to coming in for next season. But let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah, so it's all bunching. I was a bit concerned. There was a car on the inside that I thought may turn into somebody at the middle of Paddock Hill Bend. But it's now going up to Druids. What actually happens as they go into the trees? Is there a bit of a punt up the rear? It's early on. There was a bit of contact, and it was this car I'm pointing at now, Richard.
Black and blue R Racing.
Is that an R Racing car? Yeah,
there
was contact
was
there.
Luke? It was either Luke or Freddie. Freddie's a dark blue, I think, from memory.
Yeah. Great. See all the cars crabbing down to the inside because of the camber. And in rear-wheel drive race cars, these are. So that was a great start from Liam McNeely, because not only have you got the camber against you, you've also got the hill to get up as well. So you can bog down really easily. So it's in the middle of the pack, isn't it? And it did look, I think, like it was maybe... Now it's that. Harrison just got involved, didn't he? That was a shame.
Often the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Kanato Lee really he got a tag in the right rear there. So, rollage on board, listen. Great start, hardly any wheel spin. Full throttle pretty much straight away. Car didn't get too much wheel spin at the rear. From the right, Liam McNeely, he makes a great start, really good. Don't touch that curb on the inside as they go up now. Straight away defends, because he doesn't want him shooting down the inside in the number 10 on board. Gets the car stopped, and this is where you can really cause yourself a load of problems as you get back on the power out of Druids. Your tyres are pretty cold, Look at that, using all the track, touches the apex, gets a great exit, runs over the track limits power pad there, but that's not a problem. Now back onto the Grand Prix circuit, wide entry. You can do that as the leader. Look at the rear of the car in front. McNeely's car doesn't even look like it's going in a straight line. He's completely sideways up the hill, and then into top gear now as they go down to Hawthorne's Bend. And if we stay on board, let's listen to how they attack Hawthorne's Bend on the first corner. They'll brake, but how much do they brake? Love that. Did you hear that gear change as well? A sequential box, just down one. Now into Westfield, is it down one? Ah, no, they'd seen the safety car by then. Yeah, that was a great shot, that was. And remember, they've got light boards and they've got the lights as well in the cars to tell them what's going on. So, is it Joe Warhurst, the blue and black car? No, he's nothing to do with it. Oh, no, so it looks like 35, but that can't be right, can it?
Never got 35.
No. That's what I was just looking at. I thought, so whoever that was...
37 was what...
Luke Watts is
Luke
37,
Watts.
isn't he?
I was thinking it was...
Oh.
Finn Harrison's in the white car, he's the Assetto car.
Wow. Did you see that of Zach Meakin
That was
as
Zach
well?
Meakin. I was looking at me entries.
Yeah, Zach Meakin got fired, like properly fired. That was an interesting one for him. So let's have a look again. It's in the middle of the shot, so Kanato Lee will come through probably backwards, but let's see who's... Yeah. I think that... I don't want to say it is Luke Watts, but the name on the back of the car looks pretty small.
I think it's Luke Watts, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty small, so it looked like he missed the apex. Look at Zach Meakin. Zach Meakin's down the inside. He doesn't get tagged. I'll take that back. But the car involved, I think,
Luke Watts as well?
Is Luke Watts. Yeah. So the grey, blue and blue car that comes through, Meakin looks like he's down the inside. Checks up because everyone's checking up because of the safety car. He gets sideways and then he's into the side of who we think is Luke Watts, and that's why Meakin ends up off the circuit. So an interesting couple of interesting few corners for Luke Watts if it is him, and that second one he's got nothing to do with. But let's have a look at it from here. So Meakin down the inside. Yeah, literally Luke Watts had nothing to do with that. These cars are really strange. They've got such a lot of lock steering wise, so when they go sideways it's difficult to get the lock off to straighten the car up, and that's why you see them flick the other way. And the steering wheel, they just whip out your hands and turn you which way you were going to the scene of the accident. So that's a shame. Kanato Lee's car looking pretty second hand. That'll get fixed, just depends where it's been hit in the subframe at the front of that car.
Yeah, absolutely right. They've got the scholarship coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Of course, if you fancy racing in Ginetta Juniors next year and onwards, you can enter the scholarship. I think it's still very healthy. A lot of people were saying the announcement of going to the GT paddock might sort of decrease the number of cars, but it doesn't seem to have affected the scholarship applications and the people wanting to come and race in the championship for next year. A lot of them, of course, there's a synergy, isn't there, going racing British GT, because these are trainee GT cars.
Yeah.
And okay, we spoke about Tom Ingram race the old G20 Ginetta's back in the day, and Jake Hill raced in those. So we have had drivers come through into touring cars, but predominantly you might be looking at drivers looking for a single-seater career or a sports car career in Ginetta Juniors. So that's, again, sort of part of Lawrence Tomlinson's thinking about moving over.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of... there's a few GP3 names that I've seen. Zach O'Sullivan, maybe? I've seen him in single-seaters.
Yep.
From the juniors in Ginetta. So like you say, it's a platform for open cockpit, and it's also a platform for GT, or it's a platform for tin top racing. So it's it reminds me of the old Formula 3 days where it was the top championship to be in as a youngster.
Yeah.
And try and win it in your second year, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Or first year if you're Tom Leben.
Yeah, my word, do you remember that? What a lad.
Yeah, what a scholar he was.
Yeah. We've had some cracking years of Ginetta Juniors, and being able to say I commentated on him or I commentated on her. It's a really, really cool championship, and like we've said, we'll be sorry to see it go, but it will live on. So
it will, definitely, yeah.
Massively live on. So we're going to see some more replays. And that is, so Kanato Lee, I can just see him actually, white top with the yellow stripe. I think he he's wide anyway, but whether he turns into Luke Watts or whether he...
it's definitely Watts, isn't it?
It's definitely Watts, yeah. It's definitely Watts. So yeah, it looks like Luke was involved in that. So we're looking for Kanato Lee in this. And Kanato Lee's got the black, white and yellow stripe car, the fluorescent. You'll see it get turned around. Now, that's got to be Luke Watts, isn't it? That's got to be Luke Watts.
It does look like a 5 on the side, doesn't it? Though?
Looks like a 5 though, it's weird, isn't it? So yeah, so that gets him turned round. So looking at it like that, it does say to me that one went wide and the other one followed him wide and then unfortunately tagged him. So yeah, but there was cars running wide, just running out the way there, to be fair. And then yeah, it was a bit messy, wasn't it, at the top? I mean, it's a typical pinch point, to be fair, Druids, and it was just a shame that Harrison as well got involved, and that was an end to his race. So the tag is there, and then you can see the culprit just running away. But I want to say culprit silently, really, because to be fair, they both looked like they were running wide. Yeah. So, you know, they've obviously both running too hot.
So it's like bunching.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, definitely a bit going.
It's going to be a 10-minute race once we get going again, but you can see the marshals have got, not only do the marshals have to clear up, but they have to get the cars right into the correct places on the grid. And marshalling doesn't stop on track, it's also in the holding area. I was chatting to some marshals this morning that were looking after the holding area and getting the cars in the right place in the holding area. It's not just the ones you see on the track, it's actually you know, lots of multi-disciplines required.
I've got some friends actually here from where I originate from in Widnes, and they drove down yesterday to camp on the Marshall site, Marshall Inn, and I was talking to her fella, and he was telling me he went to get a manufacturer's touring car top to get it signed, went to meet her at the inside of Clearways, got there, but she'd been swapped to the other side, and he was just saying it's such a difficult job that people don't realise they get swapped around so much. Right. So they do a lot of running around, walking around, and yeah, the marshals, I think they do get a bit run ragged. And looking now at your pictures of Joe Warhurst, look, I mean, them cars, they're like 1,000 kilos. They're not light, you know, to push them cars around. And yeah, we don't sometimes thank them enough, do we?
No, we don't. We do appreciate what they do, whether it's the rescues, the clearing up, getting drivers in the right order, and they love dealing with the juniors. You get some stories about how they deal with the teenagers and the two ladies this morning just saying about, yeah, we've had a couple of incidents where they've gone to the teenagers, do you need to go to Parc Fermé? Oh no, and then they go off, and then actually they do need to go to Parc Fermé, and then throw a little wobble. You know?
Do you know, I thought you were going to say, do you need to go to the toilet before you race? Oh, Rolich can't get away.
Oh dear. Oh yes, he can.
Oh, he wasn't in gear. Oh, as long as everybody doesn't overtake him, he can get his way back through. Yeah, but that was a bit of a heart and mouth moment, isn't it? Yeah, you just seen the car lurch forward. I heard a clunk of the gearbox. I think sometimes you think you're in gear, and you'll drop the clutch and there's nothing there. Sometimes you can get what's called a false neutral. So it says number 1 on your dashboard, which is first gear. You drop the clutch and it's actually not in gear. It's called a false neutral. So yeah, that might have been what happened to him. Or he could have done what I usually do, and that's just leave it in neutral and forget you were actually starting in the picture. You never look at anything.
Revving the bolts off a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But the number 10 looking like he's going to be back in position, and he'll be all good. And we can get this. Well, he's back there anyway, isn't he? So he's P2.
So we can maybe just have a quick reminder at some point of the lineup for this race. A couple of non-starters, but here's how they line up. Round 23, Liam McNeely, double pole this weekend. Starts on the front with Josh Rowledge, Akil Alibi and Harry Reynolds on row 2. Joe Warhurst and Zach Meakin, who's actually out of the race, was due to start from the outside of row 3. Luke Watson, Will McIntyre, row 4. Then Freddie Slater and Kanato Lee. Maurice Henry, last year's year before last scholar, on row 6 with Mackenzie Douglas. Then this year's scholar, Alicia Pomorski and Finn Harrison. Luke Hopkinson and Mikey Porter next up from Sid Smith. Then it's Ella Lloyd on the outside of row 9. Flynn McCarty and Leona Theobald from Thomas Spragg, Shravan Shamigable and Adam Brown. I watched qualifying this morning, and it was unusual to watch from up here. First time I've watched from up here, and Ginetta's junior qualifying changed as we're going to do some crowd commentary, by the way, before we come back to that point.
Oh no, I was just going to say.
Is there somebody knitting or something on that we were hearing? Oh, there we go.
Oh wow, that's amazing! Look at that.
Do you think as the racing gets faster, she knits faster as well?
Yeah, as the cars are coming to the grid. I wonder what. I'd love to know what she's actually knitting. That could be anything. I mean,
it's a bonnet for a Fiesta.
Oh yeah.
Or for a Ginetta.
It's cool. We get some pictures and we get all sorts of stuff, don't we? It's. And
there are some of the hats that she made earlier, I think.
Oh my word! I just love the fact that people will just turn up with drinks, chairs, jackets. I mean, it's not the coldest of days, but it's not particularly warm, is it? And people absolutely love it, don't they? They love it. They absolutely love it. They'll turn up in all weather. Even if it was raining, mind you, Southerners are a bit strange.
Oi.
They'll be like
Oi.
umbrellas up and everything. You lot love an umbrella. You see, me and David Addison, we'd have T-shirts on in this weather, mate.
Oh, you hard northerners. Well, I won't talk about the qualifying after all because we're ready for the race, but it's been interesting watching qualifying this year. We're getting ready. Here we go. Restart. Let's hope we don't get the first lap bunching. Liam McNeely's got all the work to do again. Josh Rowledge on his outside, so to the right of the front row. Away we go. Rowledge again gets away well. McNeely trying to take the battle to him as they go up into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Akil Alibi slots into third in yellow, defending from the young Welshman Harry Reynolds, who's in fourth position. Two elite cars in red and blue side by side, and it is McNeely who again got a good start.
Wow, that was close up to the Paddock Hill Bend apex. I was holding my breath there because there was a lot of close proximity driving going on, but fair play. They've all got through down to Graham Hill Bend, and McNeely's done it again. That was the difficult time to nail it the second time. Brilliant stuff from the top two.
Yeah, Liam's had a difficult start to the season with the changing qualifying regulations that we had this year, in that the cars, rather than just having a straightforward 20-minute session, were only allowed to do 3 laps, and the cars had to go out in a prescribed order to stop the cars getting involved in the bump drafting or sort of getting the toe on the laps at Thruxton and places like that. But it worked perfectly this weekend because this is such a long lap here on the on the Grand Prix circuit at Brands Hatch, as opposed to the Indy circuit, that by the time the tail enders, if you like, had gone out, the front runners still had clear air to deal with their laps. A move there, and that's going to be another visit. No, it isn't.
Wow, that was lucky. Look at those 3 cars that have scrambled through them. I was watching that because that was Luke Watts.
He's got the red trim.
Yeah, so we might have been saying it was the wrong person who was involved in the other accidents. But anyway, Luke Watts was down the inside, wasn't there? And Joe Warhurst, I think it was. This is on. Big sideways from McNeely. And now he's going to have to defend all the way down to clearways on board with Rowledge. Look at this. So brakes and down 1 gear, turner in, but his car's nervous. He's sideways on turning. And look at that. That's a proper effort through clearways. It's the fast corner. That's compromised him. And where's it going to come now? Is he going to switch him back? Will he shock him into an overtake? Rowledge on board. No, he doesn't even think about it. He just wants to get rid of Akil Alibi behind him, I think.
Yeah, nice to see Akil getting some form this weekend. Harry Reynolds is in 4th place, the man who led the championship for the first 2 events of the season at Donington Park and from here on the Indy circuit, so we'll like most of Brands, but Rowledge is on the attack.
Yeah, it's not Rowledge, well, it is Rowledge on the attack, but Liam McNeely has got a very nervous car. He cannot, it looks like it's backing itself in, and when I say that, the rear axle can't deal with his input of the steering. But look at this through here. So this is Hawthorns, and this is going into Westfields. He turns in, the car's nervous, the car's on the bumps, the car doesn't go on the grass, which I thought it might do, but then through here, Dingledell and Sheen curve. What's he doing here? Bit of brakes. Doesn't take enough curb, touches the grass on that left rear. Wow, how did he hold that? But then look, we joined back on board live, and then he was sideways again. He's sideways again. Safety car's been deployed for something, but again, he was sideways again, and again sideways through Westfield. And now he must know there's a safety car. Oh, no.
Shravan, that's a shame. Shravan Chanmugaival finds himself out of the race, and hopefully Shravan is okay. So disappointed. Now, if this isn't dealt with quickly, 6 minutes left on the clock, when we go to a red, I'm not quite sure where that leaves the championship. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the WhatsApp group and see what the championship statistician Simon Pace recommends in terms of whether there won't be enough points, will there actually, available on races 2 and 3. I think we're going to see Shravan's no, something else actually. Maurice Henry.
No,
is that?
I think this might be something to do with it, you know, because
There's Shravan going in there.
yeah, I thought it was because everybody leaves the scene except for him. Yeah, so there was a bit of contact, wasn't there? At least it wasn't that hard. I'm surprised. Oh no, I'm not surprised his car stopped because look at the front of it. Didn't hit it that hard though, did he? But he wouldn't have been able to see where he was going there, to be fair.
No, so another one with 5 minutes on the clock. This is going to be a truncated race. Going to try and get that away fairly quickly, which I'm sure they will. They just park up the recovery bit. Oh, out we go again.
How much fuel are they going to be using in that 56? Scott Stringfellow flat out in it. Okay, that'll be done. That'll be done quickly. It's not a flatbed, it's a lift, and it'll be a lift out the way. They'll probably put it against the barrier. Dr. Trafford's crew there. He's looking okay, isn't he, to be fair? Yeah. Look at all the apparel you have to wear these days. We don't see it enough, actually. Hands device attached to that crash helmet there. Doctor straight on the scene. Yeah. Good shots these are.
Yeah, they are.
That's great.
It's nice to see, isn't it? We will know that the care gets given, but to actually see it. And Trav's a good lad, came in for the scholarship last year, and one of the drivers that got in touch with us before, made contact before, just so that he wasn't breaking the ice when he came to see us, and getting checked over. He's such an enthusiastic lad, Trav, he really is.
Yeah, well, he's been around a long time, but I think he's more devastated about having the accident, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't speak for him, but it doesn't look like the biggest of hits, that, to be fair. So it's not very nice when you damage the car, especially as a youngster. It can knock your confidence a bit, but something that doesn't happen that lot is their confidence getting knocked. They're always seeming to get back on with things. So he's in the capable hands of Dr. Trafford's team. So hopefully we can. I don't think it'll be on this lap that we get going. You can see that around his neck there. That's they're the radios for race control to tell him what's going on in this championship. So yeah, good to see him out the way. I'm just looking outside the comms box, Richard, to see that they're trying to lift the car, but I'm not sure where they're going to put it. There's no flatbed around, and there's actually a lot of rubbish on the track. That's going to be a couple of laps with that, because they're going to have to brush that away as well. There's the marshals.
More fluid straight out.
More fluid, yeah. Yeah, it's hit the rad straight away, so it's probably a good job he didn't drive off. So Dr. Trafford's guys will be off and out of the way.
This is going to finish under safety car, isn't it, I reckon?
I think it is, isn't it? Yes, the clock is going down still, yeah. That's going to be moved out of the way. Do you know what? That might... No, I think they might get that done, you know.
They might get a one-lap dash.
One-lap dash, because the great thing about Brands Hatch is that the doctor's cars now that are leaving the scene, they will cut... They don't have to go all the way around the circuit.
They can go off on the Indy circuit.
They can go off on the Indy circuit, which we use for touring cars earlier in the year. So they'll be gone. The car's going to be gone. All they need to do is brush and concrete dust the scene now as we go through on board with Rollage. So I think that's going to be done. It's going to be close. You might get one lap out of this.
It will do. I hope so for Rollage's sake. And this is not the way that Liam McNeely wants to potentially win his first race of the year. Liam, the race leader, of course, was second in the championship last year to Aston Milan. Some great racing with Aston and the other guys. Okay, so we're hearing the safety car lights are going to go out this lap, so we are going to get one lap, I reckon. 1:47 is the lap time for qualifying. 1:47.532 for Liam McNeely and Fox Motorsport in the 3 flying laps they had, and we got truncated this morning because we had an incident out in the country with country before the GP league. Sorry, using the parlance for those of you.
I was looking at you going, what are you on about, Dad?
So we had a red flag. And then, so they did 2 flying laps and then had to come in and then got another flying lap, and that's been the format for junior qualifying this year, which is, I think it threw a few people off at the start of the year when they introduced that, rather than having the outright 20 minutes with the drafting and everything else. But I guess I think the one driver that really did suffer with that was Liam McNeely, who's up the front here, and he's really struggled. But he's done so well to get back into 4th in the championship. He's 40 points behind Harry Reynolds, and he's not going to get too many more points on Reynolds as the lights are now out on the safety car. Thanks, Paul. And Scott will, well, hopefully, I'm not saying we don't want to see Scott over the weekend in the safety car. We don't really want any more safety cars in juniors or Super Cup over the course of this weekend. So Josh Rollage is going to try and take the battle now to Liam McNeely. Let's see how they handle it.
Well, look at that. He's already alongside. He's going to weave and go. I'd be going after this yellow flag. He's gone. He's gone.
Duck and weave. There he goes. Under the bridge, down into clearways, and Liam McNeely, I think one of the longest serving drivers in the Ginetta Junior Championship, because he managed to get a full season in COVID year was the first year we saw Liam, and been an absolutely superb pilot. Can't wait to see what he moves on to, but he restarts here. I reckon this is a one-lap dash. Not sure if the last lap board has gone out. Yeah, it has as well. So the last lap board has gone out, and it is McNeely from Rowledge. Akil Alibi in third place, coming under pressure from Harry Reynolds. Reynolds under pressure from McIntyre. Will McIntyre in red, who looks up the inside as they go into the hairpin. Right down behind them, it was Freddie Slater in blue, actually. It might have been Freddie Slater that it was 26 car. So it was a 6, not a 5, that we saw on the side of that car. Going back to the original incident at Druids, that though is relative history now, as McNeely got the best of the restart. Rowledge from Alibi, and then Rowledge's championship rival, McIntyre, right in the mix as well.
Yeah, around the outside, Luke Watts there, and Luke Watts has been headbutted out of the way there, but look at McNeely. McNeely gone down the road, so maybe Rowledge has just backed off, or Rowledge has had a little bit of a slide going onto the Grand Prix loop, but look, he's catching back up. He's catching back up with 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, he wants to go out with a win. I'm sure he'll be happy to secure the championship here, but he wants to pick Liam McNeely to that win. Liam looking to get his first win of the season, unbelievably, for this year, but he's on pole for race 2 as well, and race 3 will be based on the race result of race 2. And McNeely heads out, and Rowledge is on the grass, but comes back on in second position. Rowledge having a nervous moment there, Paul.
Oh my word, look at this, it's not over yet. Alibi is all over the back of him, and Willie Mack will be into the back of him, and they'll be trying to get this over the line. Big defending, but look, it's the last corner.
Here they come then through the last corner. It's going to be the first win of the season for Liam McNeely. It's very nip and tuck for second place. McNeely takes his first win of the year, last year's vice champion, and the new champion by taking second position in race number 1 of the weekend is Josh Rowledge from Akil Alibi. Then it's Will McIntyre. Freddie Slater comes home, an excellent 5th place from Harry Reynolds, then Maurice Henry. But congratulations to our provisional champion, Josh Rowledge.
Big congratulations to Josh Rowledge.
But nearly threw it away.
I tell you, I was only laughing because, you know, he's had quite a steady year, like picking up the points, but what made me laugh was he'll remember them last couple of corners of the championship.
Yeah, won't he, Josh?
Well done to our racing and Josh Rowledge, 2022 Michelin Ginetta Junior champion, and he really has been the cream of the crop, hasn't he?
Yeah, it continues the trend of the previous year's winter champion, taking the outright championship as well. So many of them have done that over the years. He's done that. I was looking at his performance over the course of the year. You see drivers bang in, second-year drivers bang in. We'll come back to that. A couple of replays here. Let's see the off again.
Yeah, Rowledge on board in the number 10. Down one gear, catches the curve wrong, and then has a Liam McNeely moment, doesn't he really? And the best thing he did was he didn't drop the throttle and panic. He just got on with it, but it was just, look at that. It was all 4 wheels off. Wow. And you heard him just come out of the power, so it didn't wheel spin. And Ali, you can say it. Akil, he nearly went into the back of him trying to defend. Wow, it's been a long morning, but congratulations
He's done it.
to this man. He's done it, and that will be one lap that he remembers. Those last few corners. Look at everyone from the team. Brilliant stuff. That's what we want to see.
Josh Rowledge, there he is. And I was, going to say his season, he banged in good results at the early part of the year, but that form was maintained right the way through the 3/4 phase. You sometimes see drivers just dip away. Their form just dips away and they continue to get seconds and thirds. But he's been banging in win the last few rounds. And, he didn't need to do that to get the championship, but that's a mark of Josh Rowledge as a racer, that he kept on doing it, kept on winning, kept up the form, and still, second, gunning for the lead in the last race when he didn't need to. No. Fantastic season from him.
Absolutely, and they're great celebrations. That shows how well he's liked. Did you see all of the drivers went to see him? That was absolutely great stuff. And the R Racing team have just been, they haven't been around that long, and I tell you what, they're full of talent. That's brilliant stuff. It's really good stuff.
Is that Gluey down there?
That's Phil Glue, isn't it? Our ITV compatriot there, just getting involved. Had a lot to do with Josh's championship.
For sure, he's driver coach with the team is Phil. Here's how they finished then, round 23 of the Michelin Ginetta Junior Championship. First win of the year for last year's vice champion Liam McNeely, and second place for this year's provisional champion Josh Rowledge. Akil Alibi takes third from Will McIntyre and Freddie Slater. Harry Reynolds in sixth from Maurice Henry and Mackenzie Douglas. Alicia Pomofsky in the top 10. She finishes ninth ahead of Joe Warhurst. Luca Hopkinson next up from Luke Watts, 13th. Good drive through from Sid Smith, the current Fiesta champion, Junior Fiesta Championship leader. Then it's Ella Lloyd in 14th from Adam Brown. Again, Adam coming through from the back. Mikey Porter 16th from Tom Spragg. Flynn McHardy in 18th. Leona Theobald in 19th. And Shravan Shamagable 20th, as we saw a retirement needing that second lot of safety car from other problems for Zach Meeting, Kanato Lee and Finn Harrison. But Louise Goodman is with